I wondered if I could ask you some very specific questions about the 3 series of paintings there are in this exhibition, and whether we could start perhaps with the Quadlibet series of paintings, of which there is an example there, and if you can tell us a bit about where that came from, the idea for this composition, compositional logic.
Here we have also a former work, this one behind me.
Yes.
This depends to the first part of my conceptual painting.
Yes.
This is a quasi-picture, a second step in quasi-picture, because the first steps came from a very simple mathematic addition of layers, 8 layers on each other. And they had a simple movement from to the left to the right, to the upstairs, to downstairs, and in the middle here. And therefore quasi, because the end it was the rectangular form, and there is something to see, happens something in space or in quasi-space, and these are not really pictures, but they work like picture, therefore like a quasi-picture.
Yeah, I see.
And the second step was the diagonal lines I let away, and only the frontiers remain. And then later came overlappings, that one is covering the other, the whole is full painted, and therefore there are coming new colors. What you till that in the quasi-pictures, optical irritation was it a bit, for example, red between green, it is nothing.
Yes.
And or one is more strong, and the other is less strong, and so.
Yes. Can I ask you just quickly, in the overlapping series, a lot of people obviously make this explicit link between this idea of transparency and the seeing of one color through another, and how that must conceptually have some connection to your experimental film practice, the act of working with the technical aspects of film, literally the substance of film.
Not with the time has it.
Only has to do with time.
Yes, because which was formerly there, it is stronger or less stronger. The second color comes over it, and it push it down, or is changing in a lot of time. There are new that comes a new color there, and so on. So, but what in film is also time interesting, if and in photography, if you have an objective which is very slow working, and somebody is running before you, and you make very long photos that you see overlapping.
Yes, sure.
And
yes.
So
you're beating time.
I think on this kind of connections.
One thing, just to talk more about this, the overlapping color, because I'm never sure if I'm right on this point. But for example, here, where you have red and a turquoisey green, and then this violet in the middle, this sort of purple color, is that a color that you invented?
Yes, this
as an imagined color.
Yes,
it's an imagined color. It's not actually the combination of the blue and the red.
But first I make a proof.
Yes, I made a test.
How it functions, and if it is not good and not how to say illusion.
Yes,
comes not, then it is not good.
So it has to have some kind of verisimilitude. It has to have some semblance to what the combination would actually be, but it's your color.
Yes. So I got a palette, a larger palette, and this larger palette I could also change in some directions, and also the forms have more dynamic, not always to overlap each other and in a sphere form, and the transparency gives new colors, but there are like this behind you, for example, that the forms are crossing each other.
Yes.
And therefore it is very dynamic, but it is not dynamic from outside, it is an inside formal
dynamic,
development.
And how do you feel about an exhibition which focuses on your paintings to the exclusion of your earlier work. And what I mean by that is, obviously, the Tate exhibition is almost a survey exhibition of your practice, from printmaking, graphic work, photographic experimentation, film, and then into painting. But if people perceive, if they don't know your work and they walk into this room and they see you as a painter, and you just said you don't want to be a painter, you want to be an artist, what would you say to them?
In Hungary, I am a graphic.
You're a graphic.
Yes.
Is that because you started out originally as a printmaker? Mm-hmm. Is that why you are still classified as a printmaker, because you studied it at university?
Man, woman, graphic,
yes,
painter, sculpture, everything is
everyone's in a box.
Small part
yes.
of life.